Jeff, welcome to this show. Jeff's got an amazing startup called listbuilder.ai, and he's got an amazing story to tell us today. Welcome to the show, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Hey, dude, thanks for having me. It was awesome to meet you at the POD event. I think like 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit.
It was, yeah, it's already a blur, man. It's been
It
going
goes
so
by
by
so
so
fast.
fast, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I own a business called List Builder AI, and what we do, we specialize in growing email and SMS lists with zero ad spend, using an algorithm inside Instagram and also chatbots inside Instagram and Facebook.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and then we got to talk. Jeff and I got to become, I would like to say, friends back
Yeah.
in Tampa. Um, we were there. We were there attending Alex Schlinsky's event, podcast prospecting on demand, and it was a great event and got to meet a lot of great people. And Jeff really stood out to me, and his story is really amazing. Jeff, why don't you tell us about what your background is? You're a young man, and you got this amazing startup already. Before we get to listbuilder.ai, tell us a little bit about your background story on how you got started, where you're coming from, what have you done in the past that got you to listbuilder.ai.
Yeah, so we'll start back where. I've always been interested in computers and software and stuff. So remember when MySpace was a thing, like
Yeah, yeah,
years ago? It was probably more than
yeah.
like 10 years ago. So I was kind of big on that, and that's how I taught myself how to code, was building custom MySpace layouts with like basic HTML, and then it progressed from there to custom Facebook landing pages. You remember those?
Hmm.
It was like
I
you
think
could,
so. Way in the early days, right?
yeah, they were awesome, man. So basically, once you get on, it was like like essentially a website landing page embedded inside Facebook, which was pretty rad.
Hmm.
And then I started working for a web design company, doing that for the web design company. And then like, hey, can you do websites? And I was like,
Hmm.
I've never done a website, but sure, it's pretty much what I'm doing now. So I started building websites, and then at the time you mentioned Minnesota, so I would go up to Minnesota in the winter. One of my clients was a big snowmobile race team,
Hmm.
and I would go up there, and every year they would give away like a snowmobile or ATV or side by side, and one of their main sponsors were Makita Tools, and
Hmm.
Rockstar Energy. So they would set up this big booth with tools, like people could try out stuff like that. And Makita wanted to capture leads at the event, and they had it was like we had like 3 iPads. Basically,
Hmm.
people would sign up on iPads, and I was like, the iPads would get cold, they die because it was. I mean, they die. People would
It's
try to walk.
Minnesota, man.
Yeah, it was freezing, or like
Doesn't
the
mean you
iPads
couldn't talk.
needed train or needed charged up, or people would walk away. This was like before QR codes kind of came out, and uh, they were essentially, people would sign up on these iPads. I'm like, there has to be a better way to do it. So I just used the QR code and made like a brand new landing page with all the questions they were asking.
Hmm.
And then I realized it was like working awesome. I'm like, wow, this
What
is
what
actually
what year is this again?
uh, 2016 maybe.
Okay, okay. QR codes were definitely there. I'm thinking my age, and it was a little bit further back, but okay, awesome.
Yeah. But people were like, "Oh wow!" They really didn't. It was like right when QR code scanners became native on iPhones and
Okay.
Androids. So, anyways, I got a bunch of um, people to sign up that way, and then I started using ManyChat quite a bit, and I was trying to do everything on the sun, trying to, like, from customer service to building a list to well, you name it. And one thing I realized is, like, what am I really good at is building lists. like just
Hmm.
doing some kind of lead magnet or a giveaway or a webinar. So that's what it is. Like, man, this is a product and service and company on its own. So, and that's kind
Hmm.
of what happened. I just
So
made
this is
list.ai.
so this is back in 2016 when you started the company.
List Builder is less than a year old,
Okay.
but I started doing that, and then I went through a couple names, and then finally, List Builder essentially is a service with an assortment of apps that I built inside of ManyChat. So, like, we
Hmm.
can say you do a giveaway on Instagram. Most time you see people doing like, "Hey, like us, follow us, and tag 3 friends."
Hmm.
Well, we do that, but we add a layer on top of it where we say we'll shoot you a DM to get you finished entering. And what
Hmm.
that does is then we can open line of communication, collect any kind of data we want, name, email, phone number, all the qualifying questions you'd ever
On a
want.
live chat.
Yeah, but it's all automated.
Hmm.
And then
Nice.
what's cool is it pushes all that data that you collect automatically into high
Hmm.
level. Or say you're running a Zoom webinar and you want to get people to register for your webinar, then we have an app that we built inside of ManyChat where when we collect their name and email, it automatically
Hmm.
registers them into Zoom webinars.
Amazing, man. Like, and you did all of this yourself? You don't have a co-founder or anything like that?
No, just me and some developers on my team. So
Awesome, buddy. This is very, very exciting. What kind of clients are you working with right now? Are they all agency owners, or I know it kind of started out with breakthrough from a client side, but uh, talk to me a little bit about what kind of clients you're working and servicing right now.
yeah, so like right now, most of them are like influencers and people who have a good following on Instagram. It could be your influencer or a company. As long as you have at least 10,000 followers, we can convert those followers into email and SMS subscribers with zero ad spend.
Nice.
So, and then now we just roll out a new white labeling service where we can build those lists for you
Hmm.
all under our white label.
So if I'm an agency owner and I work with, say, for example, dentists, or I work with gyms, for example, can I still use your service?
Yep, yep. And they completely white labeled, so your clients won't even know it's us. So it's an
Perfect.
addition. And it's funny you mentioned dentist offices because we have a killer case study on that one. It was for an orthodontist office, and
Hmm.
they actually, it was a buddy of mine that did this for his agency. He worked with
Hmm.
orthodontists. So what they did is they were shooting social media content for orthodontist offices, and they're trying to get more followers.
Hmm.
So in a span of 6 months, they got 420 followers. And I told them, hey, let's do this. Let's do a list builder campaign.
Hmm.
Overnight, we doubled their follower count
Hmm.
through one campaign. It was for a free braces giveaway, and they collected like
Nice.
500 and some leads from it.
Nice. 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 So that's amazing, man. What an amazing product. Are you still doing that other agency, the web development, your legacy agency, I guess?
Yeah,
Is that still a business operational?
yeah. So my other agency, my first agency, I still have them both, is called Leah Development. So I'd say we build beautiful WordPress websites powered by
Hmm.
High Level.
Okay. Okay. That's exciting. Very, very unique because, a lot of web developers I've come across, they just build the websites, but CRM is always an afterthought, right?
Hmm.
So, but you have that CRM structure plugged right in, and you're like doing a white label CRM, I guess, to a high level.
Yeah, what we do have a white label CRM through List Builder. But I just tell people it's high level just because high levels changed my life, man. And you kind of know the story about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're going to the high level event coming up, right?
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait.
That's awesome, man. And what an exciting journey so far. So what's the size of List Builder right now? How many clients do you guys have? Where are you guys at in your journey right now?
We have like 10 clients right now, so we really, really want to dive in deep. That's one of my objectives at the high level event next week. Is just to talk to other high level agencies because
Hmm.
this is just an additional service they can offer to their clients, and it can get them really, really good results and make them look awesome.
It's a no-brainer, I think, and a lot of agents. And I think that's the perfect. I guess that would kind of would be my next question to you. Would be what your marketing strategy is. So, talk to us a little bit about that. Like, how are you acquiring clients with your marketing strategy? What that is. Maybe walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I've never ran an ad myself for my company. It's always been through referrals,
Hmm.
which is awesome. But I part of our marketing plan right now is like get on podcasts like this and really going into events and networking with
Hmm.
other agencies because I just think really no one's doing this, and why not offer it to agencies that can just stack clients?
Yeah, and like I think we kind of hear about networking. It's kind of that word that you used to, because I'm like sort of like an introvert person, and that anytime anybody told me that you got to network, I'm like, come on, man, there's got to be a better way. But to be honest, it really isn't, and especially when you find the right niche and right networking groups to plug into, like you are doing with High Level. You were at the Prospecting on Demand event last month. Now you're going to the High Level event. And if you can like surround yourself with the right type of events, what that does is that those events become really natural to you, and they're no brainer, right? Like I remember you and I having a amazing conversation for at least an hour at the top of the yacht.
Yeah,
We're both sweating it out, but we're just going at it because we're having fun. It's our natural environment, so we don't need to be afraid of networking, even if you're an introvert. Just find the right pockets of the clients that you want to connect with, and you're going to be a natural pro at it. You don't have to overwork yourself. You just go attend the events, and you do what you got to do, right? So I guess that's your strategy, and it's worked out great because you and I are talking on this podcast now. So from that one event, I know I've done at least 10 podcasts already out of that event, or booked those podcasts, and many more are in the lineup. So amazing, man. Great strategy. What's your sales strategy like? How are you closing deals right now?
really, it's just get on the phone and just asking them like, hey, what for high level, for example, for Leah, is always going just not trying to sell, just trying to help. And
Hmm.
if it's a good fit, then it's a good fit because you don't want a client that it's not you're selling them something that don't really need or I don't want to do that ever. Same thing with List
Yeah.
is you just got to make sure they're right fit and you guys get along great and vibe together.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I think you bring up a great point there because a lot of us, especially people who are coming from the sales background, are really good at selling people. But we're especially in the agency world, we're not selling a laptop or a TV that you can sell and forget about it. You probably won't see the client again. In an agency, you have another beast, especially when your agency start growing. It's called retention, and so you can be really great at selling something that somebody doesn't want, but guess what, 2 weeks in, 1 month in, 3 months in, that person's just going to drop off the back end, and you don't want that. You want people coming in who really need your product and service, and you want them with you for as long as possible. So you have to have solid qualification processes. You have to have your niches identified, which looks like you do, and then only be able to work with people who really need your product and service, and not just push your services onto them. So a great point, man. Simple strategies. Sales is not rocket science. It looks like you really made it sound really easy. But great work there. And then, what's your retention process like? Like, how are you retaining clients on the back end? And what are those? With 10 clients, I think, especially on listbuilder.com, you must have some solid data already on how your retention is.
Yeah, man. Like especially with the white labeled GHL, is I've had a couple partner JV partnerships with white labels, and the biggest lesson I've learned from that is just giving them the training and making sure they know how to use the product, the high level,
Hmm. Hmm.
versus handing them like the hammer per se and say, "Hey, build the house,"
Uh,
because
yeah.
they're just gonna drop off like after a month or so or 2 months. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great strategy, right? Because you're bringing in clients, you want them to stay with you for as long as possible. But what does that look like on your side? Looks like you're training them, you're making sure that they're really comfortable with the product, and
yeah.
once they really get a hand on it, I think they're there forever. Really, in a product like yours, it's just a no brainer for clients.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just a matter of teaching them how to use the hammer.
Nice, nice. A great analogy, man. Hammer analogy. We'll definitely build something out of this. And so before we leave here, Jeff, what do you have a pointer for an agency owner or an up and coming agency owner who's wanting to start out their agency? What one advice would you give to a person who's starting out their agency or who's maybe struggling with their agency right now?
Yeah, I would say don't overthink it. And number two, get high level because it's like it is incredibly like it's unbelievable when I show people they're like, "What? You can do that?" Like so, and that'll make things much easier, much more organized. Um, and the other thing too, I'll leave you with this as well as I think success comes down to three things. Number one, consistency, like just being consistent and showing up in something, you're going to
Hmm.
see results. Like working out, if you do that every day, you're going to see results.
Hmm. Hmm.
So keep plugging ahead in your agency and it's going to work out. Number two is uh, just knowing your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, like where you're at and how much you're making, then you don't know what's working and what's not.
Hmm.
And then number three, and it comes down to the high level, just having a systems in place, even if you don't have high level or you're using a different CRM, or even if it's just an Excel spreadsheet to track where each
Hmm.
client is or who you reach out to, all that. So it's consistency, knowing your numbers, and having a system.
That's a beautiful formula for success, man. Consistency. I'm true believer in that. Just show up, man. Show up every single day. Be consistent. And amazing. And there's this uh, company like IBM. I forgot their name, but they used to have Accenture Consulting. I think they changed their name. I think they're based out of Minnesota as well. And they used to have this Tiger Woods ad, and Tiger was driving the ball at that time, and they said uh, 50% consistency, and any winning shot, 50% consistency, and 50% willingness to change. So, you want to be able to adapt, but you also want to be extremely consistent at the same time. So, great point there. Know your numbers. That's huge, for people, who don't know what they're selling, or they're just going out there and starting to sell. Take a break, figure out what you're selling, what you're making, know your numbers, maybe even your product knowledge and things like that, and then start selling. And
Mhm.
then systems in place, man. That's so important. I was kind of one of those people who just started out without anything in place. And I know my legacy agency is 14 years old, but it's a very tough hill to climb. Like, if you can start out by just simplifying these things in front of you, like have a system like high level in place, for example, such a easy no-brainer system to have in place. You would be surprised how many agency owners out there have no clue what CRM systems are even. I used to be one of those people, right? So I'm telling you from my own example.
I remember
But
looking up what CRM meant.
yeah, so look up what CRM means, and then have a basic system in place. I think high level, you just hit the nail on the head. High level is one of the best systems out there, especially if you're a digital marketing agency owner. You cannot do without it. So great pointers, consistency, know your numbers, and have some systems in place. And I think success will follow you, man. Jeff, thanks for doing this, man. This was amazing, man. I think listbuilder.ai is a no-brainer for agency owners. You guys just plug in naturally. And any agency who's working with any type of niches, you guys need to build out lists for your clients all the time. So, plugging in with a product like Jeff's, it should be a very simple no-brainer. What's the cost like for listbuilder.ai? Is it subscription based? Is it how does that work?
Yeah, we're trying to do a monthly model. So really it's so you can run one campaign a month, and then you say like you run a giveaway first. That's the most effective. Even if you have a small amount of followers like that orthodontist office did with like 450 followers. If you have a
Hmm.
great offer, then you're gonna see results.
Hmm.
And you can tell your clients, don't be afraid to at least do a $500 giveaway, something like that, or
Hmm.
give away something that it's not going to cost you much money. For example, our esthetician clients, they just give
Hmm.
away like whatever their vendors are giving them for free for demos or whatever, so it's not costing them anything. So yeah, we have like a monthly model, and then really depends what the clients want. So we work with your clients to see, all right, what do you want to do this month? What are you focused on selling this month? Like, are there
Hmm.
any specials, all that? So it could vary as far as how much the price goes. But being white label, you can mark it up as much as you want.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I know my marketing team is going to be in touch with you talking about listbuilder.ai. So really excited to, thanks for doing this, Jeff. I know you're a busy guy, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. It was a pleasure talking to you in Tampa, and it's great talking to you again. I wish I could see you this month at the high level event, but my brother's going to fill in for me. So good luck at that event, my man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm sure your brother and I will hang out some and enjoy Greece, man.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll appreciate it. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you soon, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, bye bye.